Is it? You hurt somebody with that. You hurt somebody with this. You don't hurt them with this. Anybody really care? You hurt somebody with this. Wait a minute, I think I can find out what time it is. Yeah, you hurt somebody really with a bottle. If you use that bottle, no. Water bottle. There's a light around here somewhere. Tell you something, young man. Just say. Just pretend. You want to do it? Say you use that bottle and knock him out. Going over there now. You're the winner. No. But in America, it's fair. You know how come? Fair means women. Last one standing winner. No matter who wins, no matter what you watch. Last one standing. You can't be late. Hey, the girls winner. Right. Right. They're all drunk. Don't worry about them, Mom. They'll be all right. What do you fall on the lap? That's what I'm saying. Winner. Now, if you was on a dance floor, it might be all right there, Al Brook, or whatever the fuck your name is. Hooker. Do I care? Do I care? If you was on, no. If you was on a dance floor instead of a street, it might look a little better. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the Puerto Rican. Hey man, show me. Hey, he's the Puerto Rican of the Catoosa. Oh, first squad, you know the deal. In America, everybody. Second squad, second and 9, 300 feet just for fun. We're number Suck one. My ass. Suck my ass. Come on, baby. I'm in first. But wait, what? Cheju Training Center. Remember this, baby? Ugh. This is the main strip on the post. Both of these guys here.
Right.
Yeah. Cat Drake.
Tall Harbong himself.
Right hand over left. Good. All right. Island Guard. Rec Center and Formation Aisle. Famous mushroom.
Second squad.
Hangover.
Second and 9. We made it. We survived the rappel. We survived the nights, which were much more intense.
Yeah, exactly.
Still here.
So we're alive. Even though I'm not second squad, but I'm
before Japan. Mr. Bush arrived Sunday for a summit with President No Cheju on bilateral security and economic cooperation. While Mr. Bush was in the Republic, he urged Korea to remove all non-tariff barriers to trade and solve the fundamental problems that stifle foreign firms competing in the Korean markets. He also welcomed the positive developments in inter-Korean relations. During his address to military members in Yongsan, he stressed the importance of the service members' role in protecting smaller nations.
Because we are the United States of America, we have a disproportionate responsibility for the freedom of small countries, the aspirations of smaller countries all around the world. So your work should be put into that kind of a broad perspective, and I'm proud that you're serving perhaps in a more peaceful time, but I also know that we've got the best men and women the armed services have ever had, and that's the gospel truth.
Coming up, weather with Tech Sergeant John Carroll. Then we'll go to the second ID for the president's visit. There's more ahead right after this.
Too pleasant a day weather-wise as the rain and snow continued.
Arrived in the Republic, he made a point of visiting the troops. Sergeant Don Bricky reports the warriors up at the second ID were ready and awaiting the Commander-in-Chief's arrival.
Hundreds of soldiers from units at Camp Casey and the surrounding area marched to a hangar on Camp Mobile to await President Bush. The band played while soldiers stirred impatiently, anticipating this historic moment in their lives.
The President of the United States and Mrs. Bush.
We stand here just a few miles from the DMZ, relic of the Cold War, tragically separating one people. And history's verdict is in. On freedom's side stands one of the fastest developing countries in history, and on the other side, a failed regime that produces only misery and want. You have not been forgotten. The veterans of Korea won a mighty victory in the fight against communism, and you honor them with your presence here on the frontier of freedom. Your work is important, and you've got to understand that.
So the fact that President Bush took time out of his very busy schedule to pay Camp Casey soldiers a visit, though it was a short one, added to the fact that today was his 47th wedding anniversary, accents the importance to him of this particular stop. A short stopover that provided the warriors here today with memories they'll be able to share with their grandchildren someday. From a hangar on the flight line at Camp Mobile, for the evening edition, Army Sergeant Don Bricky, AFKN, Camp Casey.
The soldiers were excited, to say the least, when the president visited Camp Mobile. Specialist Rob Dell reports the president's visit boosted morale to an even greater level than it was before.
Thousands of miles away from home, soldiers on Camp Casey already miss out on many of the things available to those stateside. As world attention swiftly moves from one area to another, it's easy to believe that 2ID warriors are forgotten about. But that's definitely not the view of their commander-in-chief. President George Bush flew to Camp Mobile from Seoul to prove the point. Speaking to the soldiers, the president not only honored their current mission, he also took time to honor the veterans of the Korean War. For the individual soldiers, seeing and for some shaking hands with President Bush made their year-long hardship tour anything but forgettable.
I feel so excited and I feel so appreciated because of the fact that President came here in second ID. Yeah!
You know, we've been here for a long time, and a lot of people don't get to see the president. We're the chosen few. We're lucky, and it's just great. It's great to be here.
Absolutely fantastic that he has time out to stop and spend the time to the soldiers. He just has no idea how morale boosting this can be.
I've been staying here since about 1 o'clock, and yeah, it was worth the wait. Because I got to see Barbara Bush. I thought she was very exciting, and I got to see the president. I liked him too.
Well, we all have our priorities. For the evening edition, I'm Specialist Rob Dell.
Mr. President, sir. Mr. President, sir, if I could have your minute. The warriors of the 2nd Infantry Division would be honored if you would accept the token as a symbol of our division and it's a memento of your visit here today.
Thank you very much.
Soldiers of the 2nd Infantry Division, it's my honor and privilege to present to you our Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States, President George Bush.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you, General Riscassi, and good afternoon to your charming wife, and to General Scott, and to Sergeant Marks, who just handed me this tomahawk. Where was he when the Atlanta Braves were doing their number? And now, and I'm beginning to know why they call you the Frozen Chosen. It's cold up here. Cold. And I understand that you've come to Yongsan from far and wide. Not sure this qualifies as a thunder run, but nevertheless, it is a great privilege to meet with all of you. And it's great to be accompanied by the man you saluted earlier on, a key advisor of mine, a longtime friend, the Ambassador Don Gregg and his wife Meg with us today. And let me salute the proud men and women of the 2nd Infantry Division. You are truly second to none, and I congratulate you. Let me just try to put your service into perspective, because you serve at a time when Korea is reaching a new world status, when we can build on the progress and the promise of a new year. More than a military alliance, our countries are moving toward a political and economic and security partnership. And we continue to work for peaceful reconciliation, restoration of the morning calm shattered so many years ago at the 38th parallel. We stand here just a few miles from the DMZ, relic of the Cold War, tragically separating one people. And history's verdict is in. On freedom's side stands one of the fastest developing countries in history, and on the other side, a failed regime that produces only misery and want. And for more than 40 years, the U.S.'s commitment to the Republic of Korea's security has been firm, it's been unwavering, and nothing is going to change that. And Korea is where America made a clean commitment to liberty. And Korea is where we first stopped the spread of communism in Asia and fought to defend the international ideals of freedom. You know, in recognition of this republic's great achievements, we will gradually shift to a supporting role as the Korean military takes the lead in defense of their nation. But North Korea must know that we will resist any aggression, and we will keep our forces strong enough to do so as long as the Korean people want our support. Here at Camp Casey, you're a long way from home, and that's especially tough during the holiday season. And with much of the world's attention on events over in Eastern Europe and in Moscow and the Middle East, you may sometimes wonder if anyone cares. You may feel forgotten, just like the Korean War veterans sometimes feel forgotten. So let me just tell it to you this way. You have not been forgotten. The veterans of Korea won a mighty victory in the fight against communism, and you honor them with your presence here on the frontier of freedom. Your work is important, and you've got to understand that. America, our great country, never does forget those who serve. For the sake of the families of the 8,000 MIAs of the Korean War, we're going to continue to seek the fullest possible accounting from North Korea. And you got a tough assignment here, I know that. Our able chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Colin Powell, served here himself, and he was back for a visit in November. And he agrees with me on this. Your professionalism, your courage, and your vigilance are the keys to our success here. In 1992, anyone who doubts the military, anyone who doubts our skill, anyone who doubts our commitment, anyone who doubts the ability of the men and women who serve in our forces should remember two words: Saddam Hussein. Yeah. What a job was done there in the Gulf, and I'll never forget this day, because you're the same fiber, some of the same people that did that job. And I am invigorated coming up here for a very, very brief stay. The time is coming inevitably when the Korean people are going to be united and free, and each one of you should be proud of your contribution to that inevitable triumph. I know it must seem like a rather kind of what they call a cameo appearance when a beautiful white-topped helicopter drops in from the sky and we're only here for a few minutes. But this is an important stop for me. I am proud of you. I wish you well. And I tell you, you are part of the greatest fighting force that this country has ever had in its history. We showed it last year, and you're showing it every single day. May God bless each and every one of you. Thank you very much.
Scott, this one. Here you